Dr. Shehab, let me ask you now, with Josep Borrell's visit to Lebanon, how do you assess the European Union's role in de-escalating tensions between Hezbollah and Israel?
Greetings to you and to the old viewers. I think that this visit has an importance in the European level and role. I think it is an absence of the European role regarding the confrontations that lasted for more than 13 months. And there is an American hegemony of that conflicts between Israel and Palestine, as well as Israel and Lebanon. The open confrontations between Israel and Hezbollah and the bombardments that are still to continue in Lebanon and attack and very important utilities in the western Beirut, as it is the main places of Hezbollah. I think that the French negotiations have failed in practicing the pressure upon Netanyahu. And I think it was a very effective French role following the assassination of the Secretary General of Hezbollah, as Europe has a very important interest in Lebanon, and I think that Lebanon, one of the main allies of the European influence, particularly in France, and I think this visit has a very important for the European Union to play a role against the ceasefire that has no scenario with respect to the stubbornness of Netanyahu vis-à-vis the proposal draft convened by the mediator of Hezbollah, Mr. Berri, the Speaker of Parliament in Lebanon, that include 13 articles as an Israeli hegemony over Lebanon and the disempowerment of Hezbollah, and along with other conditions that would prove that should be necessarily for practicing pressure upon Israel to implement the resolution 1701 that's been ratified in 2006, and there is a fear from Europe, particularly in France, to Israel to continue in confrontation, as there is a problematic issue of the incapable militarity of Israel, as Hezbollah is totally rejecting to withdraw without the abiding within a very specific standard. And I think there is a big difference between the Israeli condition and what has been requested by Hezbollah. I think there is a bid to have some sort of approachment between the two parties, or to stop a deterioration of the negotiation that might lead to regional confrontations between Israel and Iran. Even now, Iran never intervened directly, but there is a big concern of such, as Israel is confronting Hezbollah and Lebanon, and would upset the European and the Iranian, that they are very hesitant to intervene directly on the Lebanese front.
Sir, do you believe that Israel is willing to sacrifice detainees in exchange for a broader military strategy aimed at Gaza's complete occupation?
Yes, it is a problem. Even the Palestinians were thinking that the Israeli doctrine that there should be an importance for sacrifice vis-a-vis releasing the hostages from Hamas as they did before. But previously they were working under the methodology of the secular Zionism, but now they are working in a different doctrine, which is the religious Zionism, which prefer they possess the lands and to sacrifice the human, not as before, as the human is much important than the land. But now Israel considers that the land is has a great importance. So the sacrifice, the exchange of detainees for 13 months. There was possible in November in 2023 when it started the process of exchange that Israel had stopped, and that was possible to save the prisoners, and we're talking about 50 prisoners alive, among 100 in the hands of Hamas and the Israeli resistance. But the question is to what extent Israel will continue to get rid of the exchange, as the majority inside Israel supporting the exchange of detainees, in particular the Likud party, the governor,
yes,
and the Shas movement as a main component of the cabinet is strongly supporting to the exchange. Among the conditions and the deals, the proposal proposed by Biden that agreed by Hamas, and the only party that do not support this, who's the religious Zionist coalition and the Jewish force headed by Zefir and Smotrich, and Netanyahu that rejects to provide any compensation, as thinks that the military pressure is the only way to save the detainees, which has proven that failed, that even in al-Shabak or in the army or in the Mossad establishment and the police supporting the
Dr. Shehab, I will have to cut you off. That was, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Amjad Shehab, Professor of International Relations at Al-Quds University and a specialist in Israeli and Palestinian affairs from occupied Jerusalem. Thank you very much, sir, for your insights.